The scene shifted to the Tai Su Peak Holy Sun ceremony, where early in the morning it was packed with people. Lots of guests and elders along with disciples coming here to challenge Xiao Zhan. At this moment, Xiao Zhan and Meng Yi rode a flying boat to arrive, and people down below saw the young man Xiao Zhan and immediately exclaimed, Xiao Zhan has arrived. In addition, there were many stares fixed on the hot figure of Meng Yi, marveling. Sect leader Yun Hifeng is indeed as beautiful as rumored, truly a heavenly fragrance. At that moment, a great saint ancestor of the Jiang family told a disciple, Jiang Zhou, disciple, that person is Xiao Zhan, the one you must challenge today. Jiang Zhou raised his head, looked for a moment, then withdrew his gaze and said, disciple understands, knows how to secure victory. Next to them, at the Tai Yi holy ground, Kun Daozai stroked his beard with a doubtful face and said, I see this person has the aura of early death. I wonder why he's still alive. Disciple Zhao Yi also chimed in, today is Tai Su Holy Ground's Holy Sun ceremony. Are you afraid of his master slapping you by saying that? Name Unlimited Blade Realms. Fourth Blade Master saw Xiao Zhan and immediately said, it's really similar, although the outward appearance has changed a bit, but his demeanor and demonic chews are remarkably alike. Disciple Long King Feng seemed proud as he assured, Master, rest assured, even if he is truly demonic chew, today I will still have to kill him. A confident child next to them said, Grandpa, I must climb the heaven-stepping stairway today. The old man beside him thought to himself, this child is much like his father when he was young, just with a bit more confidence. At this moment, on the high platform, peak owner of Tianjin Peak, Tian Xing, loudly announced, a time has come, the ceremony shall begin now. In the sky, saintly sovereign waved his hand, and a strip of red light appeared like a red silk, descending from above, slowly passing over two mountain peaks to form the self-inspection bridge. The self-inspection bridge reads one's true intentions. Anyone with ill intentions towards the holy ground will immediately be expelled from the bridge. Xiao Zhan alone stood in front of the self-inspection bridge. Without hesitation, he stepped onto the bridge. Clad in black attire, his coat fluttering in the wind, sharp eyes looking ahead with determination, Xiao Zhan walked confidently, step by step. But as soon as Xiao Zhan took the first step, he suddenly stopped, eyes closed tightly, his body still standing proudly on the self-inspection bridge. At this moment, Xiao Zhan had fallen into the illusion of the self-inspection bridge. In the depths of Xiao Zhan's innermost thoughts, familiar images appeared with Hong Yi pulling Xiao Zhan's hand to run away. Xiao Zhan, run fast, they are coming to arrest you. Following them were a group of people holding torches, wielding swords aggressively to chase them down. Hong Yi pulled Xiao Zhan and ran deep into the forest. After a while, both stopped, panting heavily from exhaustion. Xiao Zhan's eyes were as red as blood, his face full of injuries, gritting his teeth, saying, I want to become stronger than anyone else. I don't want us to be humiliated and oppressed anymore. Hong Yi suddenly lifted Xiao Zhan's injured face, looking into his eyes reassuringly. Xiao Zhan, I will go with you. Later, Hong Yi angrily exclaimed, Xiao Zhan, why is this happening? You have changed, your heart is becoming more ruthless and colder. Why must I leave? I don't want to join the Mortality Sword sect. We could just die together. At this moment, in the main hall of Tai Su Peak, the crowd saw Xiao Zhan standing still without moving and immediately started discussing. Meng Yi was extremely worried about this situation. Tao Yao, standing beside him, was equally concerned. On Xiao Zhan's side, he was still in a trance with Hong Yi standing in front of him. With tears in his eyes, Hong Yi said, Brother, remember to come and get me. I will wait for you. Little did they know that this farewell had been 5 years ago. At this moment, Xiao Zhan was fully awakened, with a determined look in his eyes. In this lifetime, only Hong Yi could make him stop at the self-inspection bridge. After the illusion disappeared, Xiao Zhan continued to move forward. Seeing Xiao Zhan's movements, the crowd below the square exclaimed, Xiao Zhan is moving. This speed is unbelievable. How strong must his will be to walk so fast on the self-inspection bridge? How determined must he be to stand still on the self-inspection bridge for half an hour without moving a step? Just return the result? No explanation needed. Meng Yi silently observed with his rebellious style, he should not be bound by mundane relationships. He must have remembered his parents who died from monsters when he took his first step. Tao Yao stood beside Meng Yi cheerfully cheering him on. Senior brother, keep it up. Meng Yi was lost in thought when Tao Yao's voice snapped him out of it. He glanced at his junior for a moment and calmly asked, Tao Yao, do you like Xiao Zhan? Hearing this question made Tao Yao stiff, then she blushed and shyly said, Yes, master. I would like to be a couple with senior brother. Although he had guessed beforehand, Meng Yi felt a bit surprised when Tao Yao said it directly. Her eyes narrowed decisively to refuse. I do not agree to this marriage. Tao Yao looked at Meng Yi with incomprehensible eyes, and she became somewhat angry and said, "Neither master nor senior brother are engaged. Why do you not agree, master?" Meng Yi remained coldly and said, "It's a no if you don't obey master's orders." Immediately after, Meng Yi used sound transmission technique to tell Tao Yao, "Actually, senior brother is not a good person." Listening up to here, I suddenly grimaced and clenched my teeth, saying, "So it turns out that master is like this for obstructing my marriage and not hesitating to smear my senior brother. Your actions are truly despicable." Hearing these words from me, Meng Yi was furious. She couldn't believe that my fifth disciple was bewitched by the villainous disciple, Xiao Jian, unable to distinguish right from wrong. Seeing the fifth disciple, Tao Yao, arguing back, Meng Yi was slightly angry. She turned back and stared at the junior apprentice, asking, "You don't believe your master?" Tao Yao replied angrily, "Fine, believe if you want, but you are still slightly inferior to my senior brother." Hearing this, Meng Yi angrily said, "You and my senior brother are both villainous disciples." She thought to herself, "Too angry, why does no one believe the truth in this world?" Reluctantly, Tao Yao turned to Meng Yi and said, "Master, you must have misunderstood my senior brother. In the holy ground, the elders and disciples all praise him as a good person, kind and friendly, treating everyone equally, even the outer disciples fairly." Tao Yao continued to admire Xiao Zhan with a smile on his lips and a blush on his cheeks. Talking about senior brother, everyone in the holy ground mentions him. Everyone praises him for his integrity and nobility. Meng Yi said helplessly, "Don't believe it. That's all just an act. His heart is truly wicked." Afterwards, Meng Yi straightforwardly said to Tao Yao, "Don't think about contradicting the master. No matter how you explain for him, you can never become a pair with him. The marriage of the two of you I can't agree to." Listening to these unreasonable words of the master, Tao Yao got angry like a porcupine, stood up, and said loudly, "Master, you're the peak master of Yunhe Feng. How can you do something to divide the couple?" Unexpectedly, under the Tai Su Square, there was a shout from everyone. "The Holy Sun has walked across the self-inspection bridge." Xiao Zhan finished walking the self-inspection bridge within an hour. Senior Chu mustn't broken the past records. Witnessing this scene, Meng Yi and Tian Xing also showed a look of astonishment. Tian Xing looked at Meng Yi, his eyes admiring and praising Meng Yi. "The disciple is not bad, with a firm heart like a stone table. I wonder how you usually teach him." Meng Yi startled slightly, her cheeks blushing as she said angrily, In my spare time, I just give a little guidance. The main thing is still his own strong enlightenment." At this time, under the Tai Su Square, the crowd's cheers echoed. Followed by the main issue, Xiao Zhan is about to climb Heaven's Staircase, and Xiao Zhan is now standing in front of Heaven's Staircase. Heaven's Staircase has a total of 99 steps. To climb to the next step, one must constantly overcome the extreme limits of one's own challenges. The higher one climbs, the greater the pressure. Xiao Zhan stood tall, his robe billowing in the wind, his sharp and determined eyes looking up at each step of Heaven's Staircase. Heaven's Staircase mainly tests the grandeur of one's cultivation, the spirit and body of the participant, and in all these aspects, Xiao Zhan excels. At this moment, the head of Tian Xing spoke loudly. "Whoever challenges the Holy Sun on Heaven's Staircase, step forward." As soon as he finished speaking, the two siblings, King Feng and Shu Yu, immediately leaped onto their flying swords, heading towards Heaven's Staircase. "We will go, master." Zhou Yi also flew up from the side. Before leaving, he turned to Quendao Zi and said, "Master, if I fail, please do not blame me." Quendao Zi waved his hand, go victory or defeat. Next, without saying a word, the young divine prince Jiang Zhao also stood up coldly, his friend behind him clasping his hands, and say, "We must rely on brother Jiang Zhao. Jiang Zhao is invincible." In another place, Shang Gong Hao lightly moved, the handsome figure gracefully soared up, full of confidence like a champion warrior. His appearance caught the attention of female disciples and female elders. "He is too handsome. Do you know who he is? He is Shang Gong Hao, the future son-in-law of the Kai family, and he is planning to disgrace the Tai Su holy ground to win the heart of the Kai family." Standing in front of Xiao Zhan were 5 individuals from the 4 major forces: Long King Feng and Long Su Yu of the Unlimited Blade Realms, Zhao Yi of the Tai Yi Holy Ground, legendary divine constitution Jiang Zhao of the Jiang family, and Shang Gong Hao, the natural spiritual talent of the Shang family. Xiao Zhan, with a slight movement of his eyes, quickly discerned the identities of each person and coldly said, "Oh, those who want to challenge me are not few. These two must be the twins of the Unlimited Blade Realms, Long King Feng and Long Su Yu. Quite a few have intentions against me. This one must be the legendary divine constitution Jiang Zhou from the legends. He looks silent and unimpressive. Judging from his attitude, it seems he doesn't even consider Xiao Zhan." Looking towards Zhao Yi, he immediately clasped his hands and smiled, saying, "Senior brother, I have committed a crime. In fact, I just came to join in the fun. Senior brother, don't need to worry." Xiao Zhan thought, this person is not bad, very polite. He might make a move later. Finally, when Xiao Zhan looked towards Shang Gong Hao, he smiled and raised a hand challenging. Holy Sun. Xiao Zhan frowned at Shang Gong Hao's unusually provocative smile, thinking, this guy is obviously a show-off, nothing to fear. Surprisingly, Long King Feng immediately stepped on the heaven's staircase and exclaimed, "Let's start. I can't wait any longer." Seeing this, Long Su Yu quickly got up and chased after him. "Brother, wait for me." The higher the heaven staircase climbed, the more it showed the firm foundation, the powerful body and spirit, and the incredible potential of that person. That's why these 5 people all wanted to climb to the highest step before challenging Xiao Zhan to demonstrate their strength and courage and to avoid offending the Tai Su holy ground. At this moment, the 2 siblings Long King Feng and Long Su Yu flew straight up after jumping on the heaven's staircase. If Xiao Zhan did not climb the step they chose, it would show that he was not worthy of their intervention and would become a disgrace to the Tai Su holy ground. Then Zhao Yi and Jiang Zhao also moved, displaying their skills as they continued to climb forward. Xiao Zhan looked up from below, smiling and admiring. "You're all showing off your skills, truly can't be underestimated." At this moment, Shang Gong Hao also swiftly passed by Xiao Zhan, but unexpectedly stopped at the first step and turned to Xiao Zhan with a teasing smile, saying, "Holy Son, I'm sorry I was in a hurry. Let's finish quickly. I'll let you have a few moves." Xiao Zhan immediately smiled at Shang Gong Hao and replied, "All right, let's end this as soon as possible." Below Tai Su Square, all disciples and elders had angry faces witnessing Shang Gong Hao's disrespectful attitude towards Tai Su Holy Sun. They were discussing an uproar. Shang Gong family has become arrogant after joining Kai family. Looking down on our Tai Su holy ground, if Xiao Zhan is defeated by Shang Gong Hao on the first step, isn't this a slap in the face to everyone in Tai Su holy ground? Some disciples at Tai Su holy ground angrily shouted, "This person dares to underestimate our holy son in our territory. Kill him." Shang Gong Hao, holding a fan in his hand, lightly waved and smiled at Xiao Zhan, saying, "My weapon is a fan, holy son. Take your weapon out." Xiao Zhan said nothing, only gave a cold smile, his smile devoid of humanity. He then used the ethereal steps of yin and yang. In the blink of an eye, he moved straight up the heaven's staircase to the first step, appearing in front of Shang Gong Hao. Startled, Shang Gong Hao's eyes retreated before Xiao Zhan's speed. Below the Tai Su Square, the disciples saw this scene and immediately exclaimed excitedly, "Holy shit, Brother Chu's speed is too fast." Xiao Zhan rushed forward and grabbed Shang Gong Hao's neck, then coldly said, "You want to climb by stepping on me? And let me have a few moves? Show off? You dare show off in front of me?" Shang Gong Hao, who had been arrogant before, was now fearful and humiliated. He quickly said, Don't hit me in the face." Before he could finish speaking, Xiao Zhan struck Shang Gong Hao in the face with a blow that sent him flying off the heaven's staircase. Below the Tai Su Square, the disciples witnessed this scene and laughed excitedly. Seeing Shang Gong Hao in distress, Saintly Sovereign used a spell. Immediately, a purple ray shot from her fingertips and bound Shang Gong Hao tightly. Shang Gong Hao, shocked and frightened, cried out, What? What is this thing binding me? Grandpa, save me." Upon Shang Gong Hao's yelling, Saintly Sovereign immediately coldly said, "Accepted." Shang Gong Hao immediately fell from the Tai Su Square. Old man Shang Guan King hurriedly ran over. "My child, our Gong Hao." In the void, the solemn voice of Saintly Sovereign Highness rang out, "The dignity of Tai Su cannot be humiliated. Anyone who does will be banished." Under the Tai Su holy ground, the passionate disciples all shouted in unison, "Anyone who does will be banished." Witnessing this absurd scene of the Shang Gong family, bald-headed Shang Gong King Hong teased Hi Chang Shou, elders of the Kai family, sitting next to him. "Hi Chang Shou, you and your Chai family members really have a good relationship. Daring to attack the Holy Sun at the Tai Su holy ground, you guys must not fear the heavens anymore." Hi Chang Shou's face turned cold as he replied, "Don't make the situation worse here. This matter has nothing to do with our Kai family." In the void, the powerful and authoritative voice of Saintly Sovereign rang out once again. "The Holy Sun will continue to climb the heaven's staircase." Xiao Zhan quickly ran up the heaven's staircase after defeating Shang Gong Hao. He smiled to himself as he thought, Shang Gong family all want to ride on her coattails. I must take them out for her. I never thought that wimp Shang Gong Hao is so fragile. Xiao Zhan's agile figure swiftly ascended upwards. Here, Xiao Zhan encountered the siblings from the Long family who were already waiting for a battle. The excitement echoed in the Tai Su Square. Exciting moment. The Twin Sword Constitution wants to challenge Tai Su Holy Sun. Unlike the kid from Shangong family, they rank first on the Hidden Dragon rank. I wonder if he can defeat this pair of siblings. Xiao Zhan raised his hand and greeted the Long siblings with a fake smile. King Feng Xiu Yu is indeed a good name, but I have one thing unclear. You two have not yet reached Tai Su Holy Ground. Why have you declared to kill me? I truly do not know when I have offended you. Long King Feng arrogantly raised his chin and sneered, to kill you. A reason is not necessary. Long Xiu Yu stood next to him with a cold and arrogant expression, not even looking at Xiao Zhan. Blame your parents for giving you the wrong name. Every time it's the same as that demonic Shu. Just return the result. No explanation needed. Young Xiao Zhan didn't know what to say, rubbing his chin in silence. Wow, the reasons for killing people are really powerful. In what age are we in to have that way of thinking? Long King Feng chuckled coldly. Many useless words, let's see how I defeat you. Finishing his words, he tightly gripped the handle of the sword on his waist, pulling out the martial arts master sword, legendary blade from its sheath, martial energy radiating hotly under his feet, spreading out several dozen meters. Next to him, Long Xiu Yu simultaneously drew the Chasing the Moon Sword School sword from her waist, radiating coolness like beams of clear moonlight, but if it shone on the skin, it would feel like being pierced by thousands of needles. Xiao Zhan recognized the lineage of the two legendary swords. This is the legendary Moon Chasing Snow Sword. At a glance, it looks like a heaven sword, but the combined power of the twin swords reaches the level of a preeminent weapon. Xiao Zhan's eyes twitched slightly as he reached a conclusion. With my current primordial sacred constitution, I cannot defend against the attacks of these two swords. Resisting will surely result in injury. But if my primordial sacred constitution can reach low saint, perhaps a single blow that shatter these two preeminent swords. Xiao Zhan was deep in thought when Long King Feng suddenly leaped towards Xiao Zhan and yelled softly, Sister, kill him. Long Xiu Yu nodded, holding the moon chasing sword in her hand, swiftly pulling out dozens of after ridges from below to attack Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan's expression immediately changed, cold and decisive, his sharp eyes saying, ethereal steps of yin and yang. A layer of blood-colored lightning appeared around his body, his right hand tightly gripping the Overlord Dragon Blade. In the blink of an eye, demonic Chu flew in front of the siblings of the Long family, wielding a giant sword towards Long King Feng's head. Long Xiu Yu proactively jumped forward, both hands tightly gripping the moon-chasing sword, trying to push Xiao Zhan's sword away. Suddenly, Long Xiu Yu's face changed slightly. She was extremely surprised and thought to herself, my sword can't even move his sword. Long Xiu Yu felt like Xiao Zhan's sword was like a mountain pressing down on her, too powerful, causing her to be pushed back. She hurriedly shouted, Brother. Long King Feng, with a worried tone, called out loudly, Xiu Yu. Long Xiu Yu quickly regained her balance and landed safely. Seeing that her younger sister was not injured, Long King Feng continued to rush forward to attack Xiao Zhan. With both hands tightly gripping the martial arts master sword, he aimed to pierce Xiao Zhan. Seeing his brother in danger, Long Xiu Yu quickly shouted, Brother, be careful. Upon hearing his sister's voice, Long King Feng immediately withdrew his sword, while at the same time stomping hard on the ground and quickly retreating backwards. Xiao Zhan wielded the Overlord Dragon Blade from above, causing a heavenly staircase to shatter instantly. Long King Feng managed to dodge this fierce blow from Xiao Zhan just in time. Long King Feng still tried to act arrogant and said, Xiao Zhan, come on today, I will make sure you die under our sibling swords. Long Xiu Yu quickly continued to wield the moon-chasing sword towards Xiao Zhan from behind. Young Xiao Zhan smirked and said, Girl, your sword is already too powerful. Angered, Long Xiu Yu snapped, Stop the nonsense. As soon as she finished speaking, she was hit in the stomach by the Overlord Dragon Blade, causing her to be thrown backwards. Long King Feng quickly flew up to catch her sister. Long Xiu Yu's face was pale, and she was coughing up blood incessantly. Long King Feng tried to transfer spirit force to help stabilize her martial energy, taking out a vial of medicine with his left hand and said, Drink this medicine first, it can quickly stop the bleeding. Xiao Zhan thought to himself, there is also the skill of taking medicine to heal wounds. Demonic Chu immediately wielded the Overlord Dragon Blade to attack the siblings of the Long family. Seeing this scene, the two siblings, King Feng and Xiu Yu, immediately closed their eyes, clasped their hands together, and said in unison, Xiao Zhan, go die. As soon as they finished speaking, two streams of smoke appeared above their heads, quickly merging into one. In an instant, a bizarre orange painting appeared in the air above the heads of the Long siblings, exuding strands of sword intent. Feeling the danger, Xiao Zhan quickly used the ethereal steps of yin and yang to move to a safe position in the blink of an eye. As he stood and watched the rain of swords falling from the sky, Xiao Zhan couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Zhao Yi, who was standing above, also saw this scene and exclaimed, "Twin sword constitution, clear wave sword song." Not far away, the divine king Jiangzhou's face changed slightly, his eyes showing a hint of brilliance, but he remained silent. Below in the Holy Sun Square, the crowd watching the battle immediately became agitated. This is the Clear Wave Sword Song. These two siblings are obviously being cornered by Xiao Zhan now. With the previous move, who dares to rush in, Xiao Zhan is afraid of defeat. Many disciples of Taisu Holy Ground at this moment were worried for Brother Chu. At this time, the Clear Wave Sword Song anomaly carrying endless sword ki pressed down towards Xiao Zhan, shrouding him. The sky seemed like an impending apocalypse with no place to hide, causing a sense of fear. Facing this move, the young Xiao Zhan remained calm, standing proudly with a majestic demeanor. His clothes billowed in the wind as he said, "Is this an attempt to suppress me with an anomaly?" Suddenly, Xiao Zhan sneered and thought to himself, "Dying in my hands is not a loss for you. My primordial sacred constitution specializes in countering all kinds of anomalies." With this thought, Xiao Zhan immediately began to channel his energy. Instantly, chaotic martial energy erupted above his head, and a dark purple lotus appeared. Xiao Zhan then smiled triumphantly and said, "My Chaos Branch Purple Lotus can suppress any opponent's anomaly, no matter how strong." In an instant, the Clear Wave Sword Song was crushed by the Chaos Branch Purple Lotus, leaving a cloud of dust. The technique's backlash sent King Feng and Xu Yu flying backwards several hundred meters. Their faces turned pale and divine blood sprayed everywhere. Below the stage, several female elders screamed in shock. Xiao Zhan suppressed the Clear Wave Sword Song. What is that? In front of them was a purple lotus with golden blood, the Chaos Branch Purple Lotus Anomaly. The Unlimited Blade Realm's fourth Swordmaster and Tai Yi Holy Ground looked towards Heaven's staircase with complex expressions of shock and awe. The fourth Swordmaster, with an incredulous expression, said, "Could Xiao Zhan really be the primordial sacred constitution of legend? How is it possible for such a constitution to still cultivate?" At this moment, above the Heaven's staircase, Chaos Branch Purple Lotus floated above Xiao Zhan's head. His eyes gleamed with a murderous intent, and golden flames ignited around his body, making him look like a war god born from the fire. Xiao Zhan walked step by step towards the Long siblings, intending to kill them on Heaven's staircase. Long King Feng immediately created a shield to envelop both of them, trying to protect them from the crushing martial energy emanating from Xiao Zhan's Chaos Branch Purple Lotus Anomaly. A crisis arose. Long King Feng took out the sheepskin drum. He continuously beat on the drum. The heavy sound emitted a hidden power of golden color, capable of reluctantly resisting the pressure of the primordial sacred constitution projection. Long King Feng pushed his sister back. He turned back and shouted loudly, "Xu Yu, go quickly. The sheepskin drum can temporarily resist for a while." Long Xu Yu's face was full of wounds. With determined eyes, she looked at Long King Feng and said, "Brother, I'm not going." Xiao Zhan on the other side, with bloody eyes, looked at the Long siblings. He smirked wickedly. "Leave? No one can leave." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Zhan used the ethereal steps of yin and yang. Moving as fast as lightning, immediately appeared in front of Long King Feng, his fist clenched, preparing to punch with the Human Emperor punch, but was unexpectedly blocked by the sound waves of the sheepskin drum. His attack was thwarted. Xiao Zhan's eyes immediately turned towards Long Xu Yu, standing behind him, thinking to himself, "Dealing with Long King Feng won't be easy, so I'll deal with Long Xu Yu first." After thinking, Xiao Zhan's figure slightly moved in place, leaving a trail of residual images, and then swiftly flashed past Long King Feng towards Long Xu Yu standing behind him. Long King Feng, knowing what Xiao Zhan intended to do, was horrified and shouted loudly, "No, little sister, go quickly." It's too late. Xiao Zhan has appeared in front of Long Xu Yu at this moment, his right hand clenched into a fist and rushing forward, saying, "Emperor Fist, Human Emperor, punch, full power." Long Xu Yu took the full force of Xiao Zhan's Human Emperor punch, her body immediately thrown back, divine blood splattering. Seeing this scene, Long King Feng's body filled with anger as he shouted at Xiao Zhan, "Brother Xiao Zhan, I challenge you." Before he could attack, Xiao Zhan's overwhelming power appeared in front of him, lifting his right thigh and kicking straight into Long King Feng's abdomen, causing his body to bend into a shape of a C, his face filled with expressions, spitting out fresh red blood. Long King Feng was sent flying out of the heaven's staircase and crashed into a nearby cliff, the impact spreading powerful ripples around. Under the stands, the disciples of Tai Su Holy Ground were extremely excited. Xiao Zhan is so powerful. The twin sword constitution is really strong, fighting against our holy sun and still not defeated. Standing next to the disciples, Yi Fan looked up at that powerful figure and whispered to himself, "Brother Xiao Zhan's power is incredible, but why do I feel a tightness in my chest like I've lost something very important?" Fourth Sword Master could not help it anymore. He went to where Meng Yi was sitting. He had an unpleasant look on his face as he questioned, "Meng Yi, you are very negligent. Why do you let your disciples behave like this?" Meng Yi remained calm with folded arms as she turned to look at Fourth Sword Master and said in a cold voice, "I am doing just fine. Your disciple always talks about wanting to kill Xiao Zhan. So what? Xiao Zhan only disabled their cultivation. You have already shown your lack of concern." Next to her, Tao Yao could not hold back and stood up to scold. "That's right, your unlimited blade realms are so terrifying. Do you think our Tai Su holy ground has no one?" Suddenly appearing behind them, Chu Xiaoni smiled and comforted Fourth Sword Master. "Fourth Sword Master, your two disciples have extremely high talent. It's not just about losing cultivation. Sometime they can recover more than half." Chu Xiaoni's words seemed to touch a nerve in Fourth Sword Master, making him angry, only able to say, "You all." Meng Yi then reminded him, "Fourth Sword Master, if there's nothing else, please return to your seat and continue observing." He angrily flicked his sleeves, snorted, and then left. Chu Xiaonai turned to look at Tao Yao, smiling, saying, "Tao Yao, my senior brother is really awesome. I really like strong men like him." Upon hearing this, Tao Yao immediately got angry, putting his hands on his hips and shouted, "Get out of my way and stop trying your tricks with my senior brother." Chu Xiaonai continued to smile, her eyes full of provocation as she looked at Tao Yao and said, "A strong, outstanding man like senior brother, Xiao Zhan will definitely have many women around him, like me." Meng Yi, sitting in the middle, frowned at the sight of this competition and thought to himself, "Since when did this villainous disciple, Xiao Zhan, have so many admirers?" Tao Yao, hearing Chu Xiaoni's words, became even more angry, raising his right hand in preparation for a challenge and said, "Chu Xiaoni, what did you say? Do you want to die?" At this point, Meng Yi could not help but stand up, coldly reprimanding Tao Yao, not being courteous. Tao Yao turned to Meng Yi with a resentful expression, saying, "Master." Looking at Meng Yi's calm and gentle appearance on the outside, but extremely angry on the inside, she gritted her teeth and stomped hard on the ground. Villainous disciple. He brought this upon himself, and yet he still needs his master to solve it for him. Damn it. Truly damn it. On heaven's staircase, Xiao Zhan felt something. The youth leaned over and glanced down at the square, scratching his nose continuously, saying, "My nose is so itchy, who is cursing at me?" Never mind. Let's continue. 5 people challenge, now only 2 left. Who will be the next to challenge? The system suddenly appeared and said, "Keek, since you are an old demon, you should drink all the divine blood or maybe kill that fool from the Jiang family first. He also has a legendary divine constitution." Xiao Zhan looked ahead at the heaven's staircase and thought to himself, "Oh, then I have to see if he is willing to fight me or not." Meanwhile, Jiang Zhou was still climbing the heaven's staircase, suddenly feeling a danger behind him as if he was being watched by a poisonous snake. He panicked and turned his head, only to meet Xiao Zhan's eyes smiling at him. Having witnessed Xiao Zhan's tremendous power in the previous 2 battles, the Divine King Jiang Zhou leaned towards Xiao Zhan and waved his hand, closing his eyes and sighing, indicating that he did not want to fight Xiao Zhan at that moment. Jiang Zhou frowned, silently thinking, "This person is too dangerous. For now there is no victory to be had. Cannot engage with him." After thinking, he turned and continued to climb up the heaven's staircase. Youth Xiao Zhan saw Jiang Zhou's anxious appearance, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. Seeing Jiang Zhou's reluctance to engage with him, there are many others under the heaven's staircase who look the same way. I cannot be the one to cause trouble. Xiao Zhan then turned his gaze towards Zhao Yi. Zhao Yi also sensed Xiao Zhan's gaze on him. He quickly clasped his hands and bowed respectfully. With a slightly arrogant smile, he used sound transmission to say to Xiao Zhan, "Brother Chu, I am not your opponent. Please forgive me." Xiao Zhan nodded, smiling and using sound transmission to reply, "Brother Zhao misunderstood. I do not like fighting and killing. Respecting peace is my focus." Zhao Yi also smiled and said, "Brother Chu is a kind person. I am ashamed in comparison." Watching Zhao Yi's back from a distance, Xiao Zhan's mouth slightly quirked, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. "Of the 5 who came here to challenge me, Zhao Yi from Tai Yi Holy Ground looks like a dandy, but he is the strongest, followed by legendary divine constitution Jiang Zhou from Jiang family, Both of them are not easy to deal with. It's good that they are not fighting me. Smoothly ascending the heaven's staircase is the most important thing. At this moment, on the top of Taisu Peak, saintly sovereign seemed to discover something and exclaimed. Taisu Z immediately stood on the observation deck, her eyes full of radiance, looking through the far distance. Outside the great defensive formation of Taisu Holy Ground, there were visitors coming to see the Holy Sun Place. Outside the Taisu Holy Ground, amidst the 10,000 great mountains, a giant golden-haired monkey appeared, carrying a stick on its shoulder as it approached. In the blink of an eye, saintly sovereign appeared in front of the giant beast, calmly asking, Golden Ape, why have you come uninvited? This giant monster was none other than Lord Golden Ape, the monster lord of the Tianyo realm. Lord Golden Ape grinned, revealing sharp fangs, and replied, Haha, Taisu Z, your observation skills are as sharp as ever. Taisu Z continued to inquire, as the monster lord of the Tianyo realm, aren't you afraid of crossing into human territory? Golden Ape confidently responded, I dare to come, of course I am not afraid. On the contrary, Taisu Z, you are the one who is making such a big deal out of this, openly organizing this Holy Sun ceremony. I don't believe you have no ulterior motive. I am actually quite curious. Taisu Z's face remained unchanged, and he calmly replied, So what? What does it have to do with your tribe? The Golden Ape smirked, confidently pointing towards Taisu Z. We are not afraid to make a bet. I will let my disciple climb the heaven's staircase as long as he defeats the Holy Sun. You must reveal your true purpose to me. Otherwise, you will have to fulfill whatever condition I set. Taisu Z listened quietly for a moment before responding. The godly body flower, sacred monk fruit, and another heavenly treasure. Xai Meng Yi heard Taisu Z's conditions and thought to herself, these treasures are what that villainous disciple needs. Upon hearing Taisu Z's conditions, the Golden Ape immediately chuckled coldly. Haha, you have quite the taste. He then ordered the Butterfly Empress, Go, defeat Taisu Holy Sun, and when you return, you will feast on sacred beasts for 3 days and nights. As soon as the Golden Ape finished speaking, a gentle voice sounded, Understood. Behind the Golden Ape, a tall and muscular woman emerged, with long fiery red hair and 2 massive red scales under her. She had a dragon-like physique and a stunningly beautiful face, in stark contrast to her powerful presence. What caught the attention of others the most were the 2 bright red wings like scales on her back, emitting a suffocating aura. She was none other than Tianyo Realm, Butterfly Empress. Meanwhile, on Heaven's Staircase, Xiao Zhan, Jiang Zhao, and Zhao Yi had climbed over 3,000 steps. At this height, they all felt immense pressure. However, Xiao Zhan didn't resist the pressure, but used it to continuously train his body and enhance his primordial sacred constitution. Xiao Zhan rotated his shoulders contentedly, thinking, climbing over 3,000 steps, I can feel the pressure on my body from Heaven's Staircase. What will happen if I reach 99 steps and utilize the breakthrough system of primordial sacred constitution? The system warned Keek, I advise the host not to risk it. There will be fatal accidents. Listen to the system's warning. Xiao Zhan immediately dismissed this dangerous thought. All right. Xiao Zhan continued to climb Heaven's Staircase, strengthening his body, fighting against the pressure and forging a foundation for the future on the cultivation path. Butterfly Empress carried a heavy 10,000-pound hammer, flew quickly to ask, Who is the Taisu Holy Sun? Zhao Yi pointed towards Xiao Zhan and said, Brother Chu, it seems like she's here to look for senior brother. Zhao Yi wondered and looked at Xiao Zhan asking, Xiao Zhan, did senior brother do something to her? Zhao Yi imagined Xiao Zhan doing absi with the Butterfly Empress, causing him to have a nosebleed. Xiao Zhan fiercely narrowed his eyes at the cold Zhao Yi. Then the young man flew towards the Butterfly Empress, wielding the Overlord Dragonblade. Zhao Yi, seeing Xiao Zhan suddenly become aggressive, quickly dodged, retreating thousands of meters, but still couldn't help but feel sorry for his opponent as he said, Brother Chu, don't harm the innocent. Above them, as Xiao Zhan rushed up, the Butterfly Empress, like a raging red storm, swung the large hammer in her hands, continuously shouting, Taisu Holy Sun, I must defeat you. After defeating you, I will go home and feast. A terrifying aura descended with immense power. Xiao Zhan sensed the danger and, instead of directly confronting it, dodged to the side. Xiao Zhan was extremely surprised, his face immediately changing as he muttered, This woman's body is so strong. Observing his opponent closely, Xiao Zhan recognized her. She is the Butterfly Empress of the Tianyo realm. Rumor has it that her father is the Barbarian Lord and her mother is the Butterfly Lord. She was born extraordinary, possessing the Tianyo Divine Barbarian Constitution, as well as unparalleled strength and invincible flesh. Additionally, she feels no pain in combat, a supreme class character in her generation. At this moment, Butterfly Empress continuously attacked Xiao Zhan. She swung her leg to kick at Xiao Zhan. The primordial sacred constitution immediately exerted its force. Xiao Zhan swiftly grabbed Butterfly Empress's leg, showing no mercy, and fiercely slammed her down onto the stone ground of Heaven's staircase. However, Butterfly Empress did not show any signs of pain. Instead, her expression became even more excited. She looked at Xiao Zhan and said with a smile, "The primordial sacred constitution truly lives up to its reputation." Then Butterfly Empress immediately used her shadow skill, creating numerous shadows to surround Xiao Zhan. But Xiao Zhan seemed to pay no attention to the shadows and continued to charge upward on Heaven's staircase. Xiao Zhan ran and chuckled, saying, "Want to trap me with shadow? Little sister, you're too young for that, sister." While running, Xiao Zhan suddenly saw two big grapefruits in front of him. Staring at them intensely, Xiao Zhan thought, "Whether it's a shadow or the real thing, I'll take the risk and go straight through." With lightning speed, Xiao Zhan rushed forward, unexpectedly running into the Butterfly Empress's true form. His face pressed between the two grapefruits, their bodies rubbing against each other. Seeing this scene, the Butterfly Empress was startled, her cheeks flushed with anger as she scolded, "You want to die, touching me there." Xiao Zhan awkwardly smiled with a reluctant expression, replying, "Sorry, the speed was too fast. I couldn't stop in time. I didn't mean to." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Zhan received a slap as if from the heavens, causing him to spit out a mouthful of fresh red blood. The force of the slap sent Xiao Zhan's body flying far away, landing right between the legs of another form of the Butterfly Empress. Opening his eyes, the sea before him made Xiao Zhan's nose bleed, his cheeks flushing as he stuttered, Really?" The Butterfly Empress was getting more and more panicked at this point, her cheeks flushed with anger as she glared down at Xiao Zhan. Quickly, she grabbed a large hammer and slammed it down forcefully, shouting loudly, "Shut up." Luckily, Xiao Zhan rolled to the side just in time to avoid getting hit, saving himself from harm. The hammer cracked and shattered when it hit the ground. "Shut your mouth or die," the Butterfly Empress yelled. Xiao Zhan could only try his best to roll out of the way to dodge the attack. The hammers hitting the ground also broke into pieces. Watching this scene in Taisu Square, the disciples couldn't help but worried for Xiao Zhan, whispering to themselves, "Xiao Zhan is about to be defeated by this love-struck woman." Truly, one should not offend a woman no matter how deep the enmity. On one side, Tao Liao and Chu Xiaonai also couldn't help but worry for Xiao Zhan. Tao Liao quietly called out, "Brother Chu." Shai Meng Yi's face had a slightly displeased expression at this moment. She furrowed her brow slightly, picturing the Butterfly Empress with a sinister face in her mind. She pointed a sharp finger at Xiao Zhan, tearing off his clothes to redo the things that her villainous disciple had done to her before. Shai Meng Yi was worried that Xiao Zhan couldn't fight back, and seeing him with no clothes on, she used a tactic to subdue the Butterfly Empress, causing her body to tremble and her face to flush red as she continued to make sounds of distress. "Ah!" I am looking up at the heaven's staircase with wide eyes, my face flushed, yelling loudly. What a pervert. Chu Xiaonai was also surprised, as saying, "Seeing your brother Xiao Zhan is really powerful." Shai Meng Yi also snapped back to reality, astonished as she looked towards Xiao Zhan on the heaven's staircase, muttering, "That villainous disciple." On the heaven's staircase, Xiao Zhan was using the Human Emperor punch to continuously punch straight into the two giant melons of the Butterfly Empress. "Woman, I've been holding back for a long time. I didn't do anything earlier just to give in to you, but you're bullying too much." The expression on the Butterfly Empress's face at this moment was of either pain or satisfaction, with her face flushed and her mouth continuously moaned. "Ah, tilde. It's unclear where Xiao Zhan hit that caused the Butterfly Empress to lie motionless, arching her body in pain, looking at this unbearable expression of the Butterfly Empress. Zhao Yi and Jiang Zhou, nearby watching, were also puzzled. Zhao Yi said, "Is the Butterfly Empress okay?" Jiang Zhao sweetly replied, "The physical strength of the Tianyao Divine Barbarian has been depleted by the primordial sacred constitution." Once after the Butterfly Empress smiled contentedly, she pointed towards Xiao Zhan and said, "You are truly strong. I have decided to take you as my concubine. Let us return to the Tianyao realm." Upon hearing this, Xiao Zhan couldn't help but be astonished, sweating profusely without saying a word. Under the Tai Su Chu Xiaonai Square, someone exclaimed in surprise, "What?" Tao Yao continued, "The aura of this charming woman is quite strong, daring to want the Holy Sun to return to the monster realm with her." Shai Meng Yi, with an expressionless face, thought to himself, "The luck of this villainous disciple is quite high, damn it. Let's see how I deal with him." On heaven's staircase, a butterfly empress approached Xiao Zhan and softly said, "Let's return to the Tianyao realm. I will treat you well." Finishing her sentence, she shyly held Xiao Zhan's hand and continued, "I have already thought of our child's name." Seeing this unusual, beautiful girl expressing her feelings, Xiao Zhan could only smile and say, "Heir." Zhao Yi, standing nearby, enthusiastically clapped her hands and laughed, saying, "Congratulations, Brother Chu, for finding your destiny." Jiang Zhao, standing next to her with crossed arms, reluctantly said, "It can be seen that she is a good girl." Xiao Zhan couldn't stay silent anymore. The young man jerked his hand away from the cold hand of the butterfly empress and said, "I can't decide on this matter. I must continue to climb up the heaven's staircase." Seeing Xiao Zhan's cold refusal, the butterfly empress was slightly surprised. Immediately, the butterfly empress jumped and flew straight down to where the holy sun was. Standing in front of Tai Suzi, she clasped her hands and knelt down, saying, "Please grant me a marriage, Tai Suzi." Looking at the butterfly empress, the saintly sovereign thought to himself, "This woman actually came to me ask for marriage." After thinking, Tai Suzi looked towards the giant monkey standing nearby and said, "Golden Ape, your junior's temper is not small, yet he wants to take my holy son away." At this moment, the Golden Ape, who was dejected thinking about the battle between the butterfly empress and Xiao Zhan, was shocked to hear Tai Su's question. He withdrew his thoughts and nervously scratched his head, grinding his teeth, and replied, "Misunderstanding, my junior is injured. He has a problem in his mind. I will immediately take him back." After finishing speaking, he raised his hand into the air, opening a circle of angry space, and loudly shouted, "Butterfly Empress, quickly come back with me." Golden Ape immediately grabbed Butterfly Empress by the collar, pulling her towards the circle of space. She struggled and kept yelling, "Senior, please wait. I haven't asked about the dowry from the Holy Ground ancestor." Golden Ape scolded her with difficulty. You silly little girl, how could you be so embarrassing?" Butterfly Empress murmured with her lips pouted, "I don't care, I'm just like him." Before she could say anything else, she was pulled into the space by Golden Ape and disappeared. At Tai Su Square, the onlookers burst into laughter. At that moment, the bell rang and Peep Master Tian Xing stood on the high platform, announcing, "Holy Son Xiao Zhan climbed the heaven's staircase and broke the previous records. He passed the test. The ceremony shall begin." Xiao Zhan stood on the heaven's staircase, looking down at the holy ground square, thinking to himself, "It's refreshing. Training on the heaven's staircase is faster than breaking through with the system." Below the square, people kept cheering. Xiao Zhan broke the record faster than any previous holy son. Many primordial sacred constitution bodies in the same realm fear that no one has a stronger spiritual thought than him. Soon after, Xiao Zhan kicked his overlord Dragon Blade straight towards the Tai Su holy ground, where Shai Mengyi, Tao Yao, and Chu Xiao Nai were waiting for him. Tao Yao kept clapping and smiling, saying, "Congratulations, senior brother." Chu Xiao Nai was full of praise. "Xiao Zhan, senior brother, your physique is truly powerful." Xiao Zhan nodded and replied to the two girls, but his eyes always looked towards his master, smiling. Shai Mengyi crossed his arms calmly and said, "Not bad. Hurry up and go up the stage. Saintly sovereign is ready. You will be appointed as the holy son." Xiao Zhan smiled and replied, "All right, I'll see you later, master." Shai Mengyi turned back to look at Xiao Zhan coldly and said, "Villainous disciple." Xiao Zhan climbed the steps of the high platform. Under the square, everyone's eyes were on him. Some were envious, some were jealous, some were respectful, but he ignored them all. In the past, as demonic Chu, he had also imagined this scene, but unfortunately, it did not go as planned. Under the identity of Xiao Zhan, he had fulfilled his wish. Today, Xiao Zhan and demonic Chu were both the main characters. Saintly Sovereign stood in front and spoke loudly. "Xiao Zhan, today you will become the Holy Son. I give you two choices. No matter which one you choose, I will support. The first choice, the Holy Ground will provide all cultivation resources and you will be protected by great cultivators. Your future will be smooth and bright. Choice 2 is that the Holy Ground will not provide cultivation resources for you. You will have to create your own world. Go to battle. Your future path is uncertain but limitless." The female elder in pink dress said, "Is there even need to think about this? Of course, choose option 1. The female elder in the middle then added, "As for me, I also choose the first path." Finally, the female elder in black sighed and said, "Therefore, you all are destined not to become great masters." Xiao Zhan at this moment, chin in hand, contemplated, "The advantages of choice 1 are obvious, but I will lose some freedom, and the secrets about myself are too many. If someone follows me, it will easily be exposed. Option 2 is less worry, just less support and cultivation resources. Suddenly, Xiao Zhan's mouth corners lifted into a smile. In front of him appeared the image of the respected master Meng Yi constantly entering and exiting his room, along with Huo Lu Fei blushing on the bed. Xiao Zhan's mouth corners curved even more, thinking, difficult choice, these cultivation resources can be retrieved from the master and sister Hua. After thinking, Xiao Zhan decisively and confidently made his decision. The young man spoke loudly. I'll take the second choice. I fear no challenge. Whatever I want, I don't need others to give it to me. I will take myself. With the sword in my hand, my path is unstoppable. I'll destroy mountains, fill up the sea, and kill people if any of them get in my way. Tai Suzi asked again, are you sure? Xiao Zhan replied without hesitation, sure. As soon as he finished speaking, Tai Suzi handed 2 items to Xiao Zhan. One was a purple jade-green token symbolizing the status of a holy sun, and the other was a yellow seal with a vivid depiction of a unicorn, raising its head and roaring towards the sky. Inside the seal contained a dominant seal. If life is in danger, the seal will automatically activate the highest level of defense. At the same time, Tai Su's saintly sovereign will be alerted to come for rescue in time. Tai Suzi said, take the seal of the Holy Sun and the Holy Sun card. After Xiao Zhan placed his hand on the command token, the crowd at Tai Su Square raised their hands high and shouted in unison, Holy Sun, valiant and undefeated. The saintly sovereign spoke loudly. I declare, announced that the Holy Sun selection is over. I would like to invite the representatives of each holy ground, primordial families, and great sects to head to Tai Su Peak for a discussion. As Tai Suzi was leaving, he heard Xiao Zhan calling out, Saintly sovereign, please stop. Standing behind, Xiao Zhan coughed awkwardly and said, Ahem. Saintly sovereign, Elders Ho of Dao Yun Peak is still unmarried. I wonder if the Holy Master can grant her the hand of marriage. The saintly sovereign turned back to look at Xiao Zhan and asked, do you want me to arrange a marriage for her? Who do you want her to marry? Blushing, Xiao Zhan pointed at himself, implying that he wanted to marry her. At this moment, Tai Suzi swayed slightly, blushing as well, and after a moment of silence, he asked again, do you really like her? Xiao Zhan nodded firmly, furrowing his eyebrows in response. Of course, what do you like about her? Xiao Zhan said, gentle, kind, thoughtful, mature, beautiful. As he spoke, the young man pointed and counted, witnessing Xiao Zhan's actions and words making Tai Suzi silent. A while later, saintly sovereign gently said, I cannot decide on this matter alone. We must also consider the wishes of Elder Hoa. If she agrees, I will grant you the marriage. Xiao Zhan excitedly replied, really? Tai Suzi responded, tilled. After Tai Suzi left, another system prompt appeared, teasing Xiao Zhan, Keek, your host is truly pretending to be innocent. Xiao Zhan cursed silently, fuck off, you're not allowed to laugh when I'm not laughing. After the announcement of the Holy Sun ceremony ended, Xiao Zhan immediately went to Shai Meng Yi's cave. Seeing his beautiful master sitting on the meditation cushion, Xiao Zhan naturally sat down nearby. Shai Meng Yi asked in a soft voice, what did you say to the saintly sovereign earlier? Xiao Zhan, with an unchanged expression, gently stroked Shai Meng Yi's white and tender shoulder and calmly replied, I didn't say anything, just asked a few questions related to cultivation. At that moment, Xiao Zhan thought privately, Master seems more fragrant today than usual. Shai Meng Yi frowned and said in an annoyed tone, if you have problems with your cultivation, come to me for help instead of bothering the saintly sovereign. At that moment, Xiao Zhan's restless hand slyly placed on Shai Meng Yi's thigh as he replied, disciple has already arrived. Xiao Zhan's hand caressed Shai Meng Yi's thigh as he cryptically said, Master, you're already bothering me. Knowing what Xiao Zhan meant, Shai Meng Yi glared at him and scolded, villainous disciple, you've just become a holy son and already acting like this. Are you worthy of this title? Demonic Chu was astonished and said, Master, where are you going? Disciple just wants to learn some techniques from you. How can that be bad? Blushing with anger, Shai Meng Yi sharply retorted, I don't know what you're thinking. As soon as she finished speaking, Xiao Zhan grabbed Shai Meng Yi's hands and pushed her down, his hand continuously caressing her white thigh. Master, why don't you just say what you feel about what disciple is thinking? With her weakened strength due to Xiao Zhan sealing her cultivation, Shai Meng Yi could only grit her teeth and say, I don't want to know, just leave. Demonic Chu's hand suddenly moved up, catching Shai Meng Yi off guard. She quickly covered her mouth with her hand to avoid making a loud sound that could be heard by the disciples outside. Xiao Zhan leaned in close to his master's ear and said, Now who would let the disciple leave here? Under Xiao Zhan's mischievous hand, Shai Meng Yi's eyes widened in shock, and she couldn't help but let out a series of muffled sounds, tilled. Meanwhile, at Xiao Zhan's residence, Chup Xiao Nei and Tao Yao were waiting for his return. A young rooster perched on a nearby rock saw Chup Xiao Nei and immediately flapped its wings excitedly, saying, "Woman, I see that your constitution is extraordinary, and I have decided to take you as my human pet." Chup Xiao Nei looked at the rooster in confusion, not sure what to make of its words. Tao Yao, sitting beside her, burst into laughter. "Ha ha, your rooster not only looks handsome, but it also speaks clearly." After speaking, she stood up and walked over to the rooster, cheerfully saying, "Hey, rooster, I support you. Just take her as your human pet." Tao Yao praised the rooster's display as it proudly fluffed its feathers and nodded in agreement, chirp-tilled. The young chicken turned around and looked at Chup Xiao Nei, saying, "Woman, tell me, do you really like Xiao Zhan? If you want cough, I can help you." Chup Xiao Nei looked at the chicken with a bit of surprise and hesitation, replying, "This is not good." Ji Taimi responded, "There is nothing wrong with that." Xiao Zhan, who had turned back from Meng Yi and saw the chicken talking to Tao Yao and Chup Xiao Nei, exclaimed to Tao Yao, seeing Chup Xiao Nei's embarrassed expression, stood up angrily, tightly gripping Chup Xiao Nei's shoulders and shouting, "Chup Xiao Nei, you are going too far. I can't believe you have such evil intentions towards our senior brother, and you even said you had no desire for him before." Chup Xiao Nei was not one to back down, immediately standing up and rushing towards Tao Yao, saying, "What if I have feelings for senior brother Xiao Zhan? He doesn't belong to you alone. Why do you need to control me?" Ji Taimi stood outside watching the commotion and cheering continuously, "Right, right, right. Grab her hair, scratch her face, pinch her nose. Ah, Tao Yao. Pinching her nose is the right thing to do." Xiao Zhan suddenly appeared from behind, tightly holding the hand and delivering a punch to the head of the mischievous little chicken, causing it to see stars and stagger. "How dare this misbehaving chicken do something shady here," he said. Chup Xiao Nei and Tao Yao, upon hearing Xiao Zhan's voice, turned around in surprise and asked, "Xiao Zhan, senior brother, when did you arrive?" Chup Xiao Nei quickly pretended to be weak, with tears in her eyes, to saying, "Tao Yao, senior sister, I'm sorry." Tao Yao, angry, clenched her fist and gritted her teeth, saying, "You." Chup Xiao Nei approached and placed her hand on Xiao Zhan's chest, crying, "Xiao Zhan, senior brother, it's my fault. Please don't blame Tao Yao, senior sister. I came to congratulate you on becoming a holy son, but Tao Yao, senior sister, just arrived and scolded me. She really loves you." Tao Yao was so furious that smoke seemed to come out of her head. "Chup Xiao Nei, you're shameless. Do you believe I will kill you?" "Xiao Zhan, senior brother, don't believe her. She deliberately pretended to be weak in front of you. This woman is really despicable." Chup Xiao Nei still looked submissive and sad as she turned and walked away. Tao Yao, senior sister is right. Blame me for upsetting senior sister. If senior sister forgives me, I can leave. Xiao Zhan, a young man, witnessed this scene, sweating profusely, reluctantly smiling to himself, thinking, how is Chup Xiao Nei so bitchy, but quite interesting? The next morning at the Taisu Peak, the cave mansion of the saintly sovereign, Shai Meng Yu was talking to the saintly sovereign, who folded her hands and bowed, saying, "Saintly sovereign, after the Holy Sun ceremony, news of Xiao Jinan possessing a primordial sacred constitution has been leaked to the demon clan. I'm afraid they will take action." The saintly sovereign replied solemnly, "For 1,000 years, the barbarian and monster force has risen. Now is a time of danger and opportunity. If we eliminate their great saints now, the Tai Chi ancient star will open early." Shai Meng Yi repeated, eyes full of anticipation. Tai Chi ancient star will open early, she thought to herself. If I seize this opportunity, perhaps I have a chance to become a saint lord. The saintly sovereign looked at Shai Meng Yi and nodded gently, saying, "Yes, you must seize the opportunity." Surprisingly, the saintly sovereign took out a green jade box and told Shai Meng Yi, "This is the godly body flower that Xiao Zhan needs. Help me pass it on to him." Accepting the request from Taisu Zi and holding the box in her hand, Shai Meng Yi frowned and thought to herself, "I have to go see that villainous disciple again. How unlucky." Leaving Taisu Peak, Shai Meng Yi returned to her cave dwelling and immediately used sound transmission to call Xiao Zhan to receive the item. As soon as the young man arrived, he teased, "The sun hasn't even set yet. Why is Master calling her disciple already?" In her heart, Shai Meng Yi cursed, "Bleh, you villainous disciple, you are truly shameless." Although she was very angry and wanted to kill this villainous disciple with one move, Shai Meng Yi had to maintain a normal appearance. She took out the green jade box from Taisu and handed it to Xiao Zhan, saying, "This is from the saintly sovereign for you. Take it and leave quickly. Don't bother me anymore." Holding the jade box in his hand, Xiao Zhan shamelessly grinned. How could the disciple ever bother you? After saying that, Xiao Zhan ran up and hugged Shai Meng Yi's waist. Master, since the disciple is here, why don't we practice the boxing technique from last night? Shai Meng Yi blushed and shouted, "Villainous disciple, get out! You must not behave improperly in broad daylight." As soon as Shai Meng Yi finished speaking, Xiao Zhan moved closer to her neck and used some technique, causing Shai Meng Yi to sit still, unable to move. At this moment, Xiao Zhan stared intently at his master's ample bosom and said, "Isn't it going to be dark soon anyway?" Shai Meng Yi got off the bed. Xiao Zhan said, "Master, let's start exchanging techniques. The disciple has just come up with some very interesting new techniques, hoping for Master's guidance." Thus, in the quiet night at Shai Meng Yi's cave, the heavy breathing of someone echoed. 3 hours after exchanging techniques, Xiao Zhan was lying on the bed next to Shai Meng Yi, like many times before, exhausted and falling asleep. Xiao Zhan silently called the system. "System, show me my profile." The system immediately displayed a notification. Host, Xiao Zhan, Cultivation Realm. Divine Bridge Realm 9th Stage, Unique Physique, Primordial Sacred Constitution, Cultivation Base, 2500, Heaven Grade, Sword Intent, Heaven Killing Sword Intent, Cultivation Technique, Dao Jing Foundation Chapter, Sacred Body Cultivation Method, Secret Technique, Sing Words Secret Technique, Entry Level, Danjing Middle Volume, Sword Technique. Everything dies, 1124 points remaining, Luck Value, 1575, Blue, 5890, Light Purple. You are now the Tai Su Holy Sun. You will receive some of the Holy Ground's luck. After hearing the information, Xiao Zhan sat up in surprise, thinking to himself, "Oh, becoming a Holy Sun can also accumulate luck points. What other benefits are there?" As Xiao Zhan prepared to stand up and leave, Shai Meng Yi suddenly grabbed the young man's shoulder, her body pressing against Xiao Zhan's back, revealing a seductive face as she seductively said, "Villainous disciple, it's already late outside. You can stay here overnight tonight." Despite Shai Meng Yi's seduction, Xiao Zhan resolutely put on his clothes and replied, "Cough. No, disciples must quickly return to cultivate." Glancing at Shai Meng Yi, Xiao Zhan thought to himself, wanting me to stay, haha, as if something good would happen. This is a very suspicious matter. She must have ulterior motives. Maybe when I'm asleep, she will attack me with a strike and kill me. Just leave is the best option. After thinking, Xiao Zhan decisively turned to leave, waving goodbye before leaving. "You're tired today. Master should rest early." Failing to seduce, Shai Meng Yi angrily watched Xiao Zhan's retreating figure, grinding her teeth and cursing under her breath. "This villainous disciple is always so vigilant. Just wait, sooner or later I will kill you." The next day, Xiao Zhan went to the Holy Sun Place, holding a box of green jade in his hand. The young man smiled to himself as he walked, thinking, "Saintly Sovereign has entrusted me with the godly body flower. I can break through to the transcendent realm. But to smoothly break through, I still need to absorb a large amount of spiritual energy. Why not try coming to the Holy Sun Place? It's probably one of the most abundant places in the Tai Su Holy Ground." While Xiao Zhan was thinking, suddenly there was a voice of a woman behind him. "Holy Sun." He turned around to see 4 girls in pink dresses looking cute and sexy bowing to him. His heart was excited as he thought, "These are the attendants of the Holy Sun Place. Tai Su Holy Ground is indeed extraordinary. Even the attendants look so charming and lovely." Xiao Zhan immediately smiled friendly towards the 4 girls and said, "In the future, I will often come here to cultivate. Please take care of the cleaning." The 4 girls happily replied, "Yes, Holy Sun, you can go and cultivate. Just leave the rest to us." Xiao Zhan then went straight to the Lotus Pond, surrounded by dense spiritual energy that had liquefied, with flowing spiritual streams endlessly. In the center, there was a floating lotus platform. Xiao Zhan couldn't help but be amazed by this scene and exclaimed, "The heat density here is so high. Cultivating here might multiply my speed by dozens of times. This is the right place." Xiao Zhan immediately jumped onto the lotus platform in the middle of the pond, opened a box of emerald, and instantly a purple lotus flower flew up in front of him, emitting a fragrant smell that went straight into Xiao Zhan's nose, making his body feel light. At this moment, the system displayed a message. "Host has consumed the heavenly treasure Puti Divine Flower. Do you want to initiate limit breakthrough?" Xiao Zhan chose without hesitation, breakthrough. His eyes turned golden and the golden energy spread everywhere. The system immediately displayed a message. "Breakthrough complete, 10,000 breakthrough points consumed, 68,000 breakthrough points left." At that moment, a horse-drawn carriage appeared in the sky of Tai Su Holy Ground, and the coachman announced, "Your Highness, this is the legendary Tai Su Holy Ground." Xiao Zhan, who was cultivating below, looked up curiously and wondered, "Your Highness?" The carriage flew slowly across the sky of Tai Su holy ground. Inside the carriage, two beautiful maids, Chun Hoa and Qin Yu, admired the beautiful scenery outside and couldn't help but exclaim, "Your Highness, this place truly lives up to its reputation as the holy ground of the ancestors. It is magnificent and grand, even more beautiful than the palace." Seventh Princess Zhuzi Yu of the Great Ming Empire, with her clear as jade eyes, looked out the window and smiled. "Chun Hoa, Qin Yu, don't be too surprised. The Tai Su holy ground is the dominant force territory of our southern realm. Of course, it is huge. How can it be compared with any other place?" The young man Xiao Zhan, sitting in the middle of the lotus practicing, looked up and saw Zhuzi Yu, furrowed his brows, and said to himself, "This lady looks a bit like Znubai Yu. Could it be her descendant?" At that moment, a cherry blossom flew over. Xiao Zhan reached out and took the flower in his hand, smiling to himself, thinking, "Oh, Sister Hoa is thinking about me." That evening, Xiao Zhan immediately stood on the flying boat and flew to the agreed place, where the atmosphere was lively and surrounded by whitewater lilies. From a distance, Xiao Zhan saw Sister Hua's charming figure standing quietly and gently amidst the sea of flowers. He called out, "Sister Hua, I have arrived, receiving the flowers from you. I came here immediately, not daring to be a minute late." Hearing Xiao Zhan's voice, Hua Lu Fi turned back to look at him, saying gently, "Congratulations on your cultivation progress." In her heart, Sister Hua was secretly delighted, thinking he has indeed come. Xiao Zhan replied with a smile, "What does a slight improvement in my cultivation matter, when you are becoming more beautiful day by day, sister?" Demonic Chu approached with a smirk, took Hua Lu Fi's hand, and mysteriously said, "A few days ago, I spoke to the saintly sovereign about our engagement, Sister Hua." Guess how he responded? Hua Lu Fi quickly withdrew her hand, blushing, and turned away shyly. Of course, he must have refused, because we are not compatible. Demonic Chu shamelessly held Hua Lu Fi's hand again, flashing a sly smile, saying, "The saintly sovereign said, as long as you agree, he will arrange our engagement." Hua Lu Fi blushed even more and hesitantly replied, "You think I will agree to that?" Seeing the shy expression of Hua Lu Fi, Xiao Zhan became more proactive, continuously rubbing the soft white hands of Sister Hua and secretly thinking, not a bad feeling. Seeing Sister Hua about to bite the bait, Demonic Chu continued his attack. "Sigh, it's a pity. I am about to leave the Tai Su holy ground. If Sister Hua doesn't agree, I don't know when we will meet again." At this point, Sister Hua raised her eyebrows in surprise and asked, "You have just broken through to the transcendent realm and already want to travel outside." Xiao Zhan picked a water lily and continued flirting. "Yes, you can't stay locked in the holy ground forever cultivating. It's definitely impossible to become strong that way. In fact, I am also reluctant to leave Sister Hua to leave the holy ground." Hearing this, Sister Hua said, "But training outside is good for you. Moreover, you are someone who is determined and ruthless. You won't care about love affairs." Xiao Zhan gently put the water lily in Sister Hua's hair and continued sweet-talking. Who says being determined and ruthless means not paying attention to love affairs? Then Xiao Zhan held Hua Lu Fi's shoulders, smiled gently, and said, "Can Sister Hua feel the sincere heartbeat of mine?" Upon finishing speaking, Xiao Zhan moved closer, their eyes meeting full of overflowing emotions, their noses touching. Hua Lu Fi's heart rate beginning to quicken, their breath becoming faster. Seizing the opportunity, Demonic Chu immediately hugged Sister Hua tightly, then unexpectedly kissed her rosy lips, causing Sister Hua to stand still in shock. At this moment, whether she was Hua Lu Fi or the Supreme Sovereign's strongest saintly sovereign, neither could resist the enchanting kissing skills of Xiao Zhan and Demonic Chu, both sinking into the sweet, melting kiss in their own happiness. After a long sword-fighting match, Xiao Zhan seemed to want more, his hand sliding down to hug Hua Lu Fi's waist, whispering softly, "Sister Hua." Sister Hua's face, still lingering from the kiss, suddenly clenched his hand tightly, her face showing a bit of anger and blame. Although on the outside, she raised her hand to playfully hit Xiao Zhan, seeming like she was going to hit him. But in her heart, Hua Lu Fi blushed, tightly pursing her lips. "My first kiss was stolen." Xiao Zhan hurriedly explained, "Ah, sister, don't be upset. It's because you're too beautiful. I couldn't control myself. Please don't be angry." Facing Xiao Zhan's sweet words, Sister Hua couldn't resist. She turned around angrily towards him and said, "Next time, don't do that again, understand?" Seeing this, Xiao Zhan shamelessly hugged Sister Hua from behind and replied, "Understood, sister. Don't be angry anymore. Next time I want to kiss you, I will tell you in advance. Sister looks angry, but still gentle, beautiful, and charming. How can I not love you?" Huo Luffy glared at Xiao Zhan lovingly and said, do you treat me like a little girl? In your heart, am I so easy to deceive? Surprisingly, she raised her arm, and immediately a green jade ring appeared on her hand, intricately engraved with intricate patterns, looking very exquisite. She said, this item is the spoils of war from the battle to defend Tianyuan City that I participated in 5 years ago. The space inside is very spacious, not very convenient to carry with a storage bag when traveling outside. Xiao Zhan extended his left hand to the corner of his mouth, smiled confidently, and calmly said, Sister, can you help me put it on? Sure, I'll help you put it on. Looking at Huo Luffy's expression, Xiao Zhan said, Sister, do you know what it means when a woman gives a ring to a man? Sister Huo's face showed suspicion. Just a storage ring. What could it possibly mean? No. Xiao Zhan said while holding Sister Huo's hand and leading her to a nearby rock. Huo Luffy, sitting on the rock, looked curiously at Xiao Zhan explaining while Xiao Zhan stood beside her with a mischievous smile, saying legend has it that there's a lifeful star at the other end of the cosmos. There, a woman gifting a man a ring means the woman likes the man a lot and wishes to marry him. Sister Hoa pretended not to understand, lips slightly parted. How strange ancient customs like that. There's no such thing in Tianchang continent. Suddenly, Xiao Zhan knelt before Sister Hoa, lifting her delicate hand and gently kissing it, softly asking, Beloved sister, when will you finally agree to my proposal? Huo Luffy was slightly surprised by Xiao Zhan's actions and words. She spoke up, Are you joking, taking advantage of my comfort like this? Demonic Chu immediately showed a natural expression, with a determined look in his eyes as he said shamelessly, Because I like you, and since you see me as handsome, why shouldn't I take advantage of you? Upon hearing this, Xiao Zhan, Sister Hua, said with a hint of anger, If even your own master dares to joke like this, then it is truly disrespectful. Demonic Shu then put on a righteous and solemn appearance, raising his hand to swear. Of course, I have the utmost respect for my master, and I never have any ill intentions towards her. Upon hearing this, Sister Hoa smiled and looked at Xiao Zhan, saying, So you came to bully me? I wouldn't dare to bully my sister. Xiao Zhan then gently embraced Sister Ho's waist and said, Sister. Understanding Xiao Zhan's intention, Huo Luffy blushed and slightly avoided, saying, Not now, you little guy, you're too shameless. It seems I have to keep my distance from you. But Xiao Zhan continued shamelessly, holding Sister Huo's arm and said with an evil smile, I'm not a little guy, I'm a man now. After finishing his words, Demonic Chu pressed Sister Hoa down, and then the inevitable happened. Both exchanged techniques with each other in the star-filled field at night. Occasionally, the sound of Sister Hoa echoed. Not far away, a pair of wild cats, one black and one white, also secretly learned the techniques and recreated them step by step. Many hours later, after exchanging techniques, Xiao Zhan and Huo Luffy lay on a rock. Xiao Zhan took the initiative to hold Sister Huo's hand and smile, saying, Yes, sister, some time ago, Saintly Silver invited many powerful forces to Taisu Peak. What was said at the meeting, of course, if you are not interested, then it's fine. Sister Hoa shook her head gently and said, Of course you are entitled to know about this. It is a mysterious ancient planet outside the universe about to be opened. That ancient planet is called Tai Chi. Apparently, this star's fame is huge. Its natural formation opens once every 2,000 to 3,000 years. There are countless treasures inside, but that's nothing compared to the ruins of cultivation paths left behind in the secret realm. It's fortunate that even the great saint who received the Emperor's legacy was able to break through to the Saint Lord, becoming the strongest on the continent.